All right, this is Mr. Shank here. We're going to go through the answers for the final exam so that you can retake it and hopefully improve your score. All right, so if I'm going too fast, remember you can always pause the video, rewatch it, and make sure you show your work as we go through this on anything that's wrong. So for number one, it is a parallelogram. So we need to use the formula for a parallelogram, which is base times height. So this is our base, and that is our height. So what we're going to do is 2 6/10 times 5 1/10, and that equals 13 26/100. So our area is 13 26/100, and then make sure to label it centimeters squared. Okay, so number two is a triangle. So we need to make sure we use the triangle formula, which is base times height divided by 2. 12 is our base, 5 is our height, so we don't even use 13. So we're going to do 12 times 5 divided by 2, which is equal to 60 divided by 2, and that is equal to 30. So our area is 30, and since there's no units on the problem, we'll just call it units squared. Okay, so number three is a parallelogram. So we have to remember we're doing the parallelogram formula. So we need to count the base. Okay, and you should be getting a base of 6. The height, remember, goes straight up and down, and it's 3. So we're going to do 6 times 3, and that is 18 units squared. All right, so number four is a triangle. So we have to make sure we use the triangle formula, base times height divided by 2. So we count the base, which is 7, and the height right there is 3. So we do 7 times 3 divided by 2, and that's equal to 21 divided by 2, and that's equal to 10 and a half, and then make sure to label it units squared. All right, so moving on. So number 5 is select all the triangles with an area of 12. So we're supposed to show your reasoning. So in each one, you want to probably find the base and height. So on 4, or letter A, we're using 4 and 8. So we would do 8 times 4 divided by 2. That's 32 divided by 2, which is 16. So A doesn't work. Okay, on B, we would do base and height, 5 and 4 and 8/10. So 5 times 4 and 8/10 divided by 2. It is 24 divided by 2, and that equals 12. So we should definitely be circling B. Okay, letter C, find our base, which is 8. Height is 3. So do 8 times 3 divided by 2, which is 24 divided by 2, which is 12. So we should be circling C. Okay, D, here's our base. It's 4. Height is 6. Do 4 times 6 divided by 2. That's 24 divided by 2, which is equal to 12. So we'd also circle D. And then last one is E. Okay, base is 3. Height is 4. So we do 3 times 4 divided by 2, which is 12 divided by 2, which is 6. So that is not equal to 12. All right, so number 6, you had to find the area of this figure and show your thinking. Okay, so this figure is a trapezoid. So we didn't learn a formula for that, so we can't just multiply base times height. Some people are trying to do that. So one way to think about it would be to cut the shape right there, and then move this piece right here. And that's going to basically fill in to give you a rectangle. And then from there, should be pretty easy. Just count the base and height of that rectangle. This stuff's all gone. It should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 by 3. So you can multiply 6 times 3 and get 18. And then label that. It's an 18 units squared. Okay, moving on. So number 7, you had to find the area of this figure to show your thinking. So first, look at this. You should be able to tell that it's a composite figure. It's not just one shape. So you need to split it up or decompose it. A lot of ways to do that. All right, one way I know you could think about this would be splitting it here and there. Okay, but there are many ways to think about it. So if I split it this way, up top I have a rectangle that is 35 by 10. So inside I'll do the work. So this red rectangle's area is 350. Okay, down here, I'll go to my purple rectangle. Okay, so I know it's 10 by 60, because that's the whole length of the figure. So I'll do the work inside. Its area is 600. And down below, make this one orange. Okay, this rectangle is 10 by, well, it's not 60 because it doesn't go all the way over here. It's 15 less than 60. So it's 60 minus 15, that equals 45. So it's 10 by 45, and that equals 450. Whoop, almost a mistake. Oh, what is going on? Erase. All right, so from there, I'm just going to go through and add up the 3 different areas, and I'll have my total answer. And we need to make sure we label it. It's 1,400 or 1,400 units squared. Okay, so number 8, you have to select all parallelograms that have a correct base and height identified. So really what you're looking for is the 90-degree angle, and it has to be perpendicular to the base. So A, we can see that. There's our 90. It's perpendicular, so A works. B, okay, if this is my base, there's no 90-degree angle, doesn't work. Okay, another thing you might be able to do is like turn your paper sideways to C. Okay, C, there's our base, so there's the height at a 90-degree angle, definitely works. D, you might turn your page sideways because here's our base, and our height is at a 90, so it also works. And E, you have to kind of look closely. It's slanted right here, so to go like straight up would be like that, so it does not work. All right, number 9, you have to find the area of this figure and show your thinking. So again, when you have a composite figure like this, there's a lot of ways you can split it up, rearrange the parts. So I'll show you one way I think about it. So I see that you could split it right there, and this piece could fit right over on the side, just like that. Okay, so basically, try to get rid of this. That little piece is gone. Okay, so I'm still looking at a very odd shape because I have a little part down here and then this piece. But if you look, this is just a half. So I could see, change colors, cutting this triangle off and moving it there, and it would fill in. Okay, so basically I'm going to outline then the shape in blue that is left over. And from there, you probably could just count the squares to find the area. So if I rearrange, I'm left with that. Okay, and I should be able to count. And we should be able to get our answer from there. Okay, so I think we got 4, 8, 12, 13, 14, 15 units squared. Okay, and again, there's a lot of ways to rearrange and decompose that, but that's just one strategy. Okay, so for number 10, the figure here is showing you a backyard. Lengths are given in meters, so how many square meters of grass would be needed to cover the yard? So you're trying to find the area. A common thing I saw was people just multiply 12 times 10 and get 120. Well, that doesn't work because this is not just a parallelogram or rectangle. You should be able to see that it's a composite figure again, so you need to decompose the shape. So one way I can see when I look at it is splitting it right here. So I'll kind of color code this for you. So I'm going to make this big rectangle orange here, and you should be able to now see, okay, this rectangle is 12 by 7. So its area is 84. So I'm left with the triangle now, which I'm going to make red over on the side. And if you notice, okay, there really are no numbers labeled on it yet. The 10 here is the dashed line, so really that's not part of the triangle. And we don't know this length, but if I look here, I know that kind of the base of the triangle is 12. So I'm going to draw that triangle over here so you can kind of see this. Base is 12. So now I need that dotted line, just this part, because that's the height. So I can use what's on the puzzle, or the problem, that this whole line is 10, this much is 7. So to find just that part, I can do 10 minus 7. That leaves me with 3, because that's like saying that part is 7. So our triangle is 12 times 3 divided by 2. That's equal to 36 divided by 2. That's equal to 18. So now I should be able to add up the triangle's area plus the rectangle's area. Okay, and label it meters squared, and there's our answer. Okay, and again, you could split that many ways, but that's one way that I see it. That definitely works. All right, so 11. It says Sean was asked to find the area of the triangle below, or Shauna. Her work and answer are shown here. So you had to disagree or agree with Shauna and explain your reasoning with math words such as base and height. So first thing I would look at is when I try to find the area of this triangle, I pick my base, which is 12, and my height, which is 10. So I would do 12 times 10 divided by 2, which is 60 divided by 2, which is 30. Shauna's work is clearly different. She did 12 times 8. So if you look back at what she did, she picked 8 as the height. That's definitely wrong. So what you would say is something like, I disagree because she used the wrong height. And I would, to get those words into my answer, I might say the base was correct, but the height, sorry for the sloppy writing, the height should be 10. Okay, and then I could explain that my correct answer is 30, and I could show the work like I did, right? Moving on to number 12. So on this one, they're painting a rectangular wall, but it's got a window in the center, which is this here. So how many square meters of paint will she put on this wall? Well, a lot of you did pretty well on this, but what I'm going to do is find the area of the whole wall, which would be 12 times 10, and then find the area of the window and just subtract it. So minus 14 from that, and that's going to leave you with the shaded area, which would be 106 meters squared. All right, so the next one, you draw two parallelograms that couldn't be rectangles or squares with an area of 12. So really what you need is the base and height to be 3 times 4, or 6 times 2, or even 12 times 1. All right, so for a parallelogram, pretty easy way to do it would be start with your base. So if I start at 3 here, and I messed up, move down. Start with a base of 3. And then I need it to be a height of 4, but it can't be straight up here, because if I do that, it's going to be a rectangle, so can't do that. So what I'm going to do is just move that up top over a little bit. There we go. All right, and we should be able to see how, if I make the dotted line, that's a height of 4, so that one would work. Okay, if you wanted to keep the same kind of pattern, you can make another base of 3, and then just move that over maybe 2 or 3. If you kind of see what I'm doing. Okay, so I could prove that the area of that's 12 because the base is 3, and look, the height is still 4. All right, so a couple examples of how you could do that. All right, so for 14, you had to select all drawings with a corresponding height for the given base and make sure they're correct. So again, you're looking for that 90-degree angle with the base. Okay, so you can see that A has the 90-degree angle with the base, definitely works. B has the 90-degree angle for the height, definitely works. C might help to turn a page. If this is your base, I know they show a 90-degree angle, but the height should really go up at a 90-degree angle, so C doesn't work. D, here's our base, the height goes up at a 90, works. E, I know it shows a 90, but if this is my base, the height should be going up like that, so it's not E. And F, here's our base, the height goes up, just like I drew on some of them, definitely works. Okay, last one here on this page. It says the parallelogram has an area of 36 square centimeters. So if I draw a pretty bad looking parallelogram, its area is 36, the base is 4, so we need to find the height. I know my drawing's off, but what kind of height would give us 36? You could probably write a math problem. It would look like that and be able to think that 9 would go in there. Okay, so the answer is 9. Now you need to think about how you label it. Okay, so when you write your math problem here, you need to remember that the 4 and the 9, we'll go back to the shape. The 4 and the 9 are centimeters because they're just measurements of like a base and height, whereas the area is the centimeters squared. So make sure you label your answer 9 centimeters. Okay, lastly, I'll let you check true and false. All right, those should be pretty easy to fix. So hopefully this helps you and you can make your corrections to do better on the final. Thanks for watching.